Well, I finally bit the bullet, and I procrastinated long enough on getting a portable generator. My reasoning is that here in the North Country, during the wintertime particularly, we get mostly cloudy days, very little sunshine, and the solar panel just cannot keep up with keeping the batteries charged. I did a lot of research on a lot of different models, and I wasn't prepared to spend around $1,000 for some brand name generators. I saw the reviews on this one. This one came from Walmart, and the reviews were pretty good. In fact, I think the only negative ones were pertaining to shipping and some other minor things, but not on the performance. So I tossed this into my online shopping cart at Walmart, where I think at the time it was a sale price of about $360, which I didn't think was too bad at all. And it sat there, like I said, I procrastinated, and it sat there in my online shopping cart for over a month. I kept checking online just to see if maybe it would go on sale even lower, and the results finally paid off, and the price dropped to $299. And that's when I decided to make the move and buy this. It shipped extremely quickly, and now it's time to do an unboxing. And I'm going to do the unboxing right here inside the van because it's only 20 degrees out, and I think it's a little warmer in here. As you can see, the brand name is NextPow, and yeah, it's an off brand, made in China type thing. And I think most of them are anyway today. And I wasn't ready to spend about $1,000 on a Honda. So I know it's my chance I take whether or not it's going to work well. But I got this through Walmart, and we'll take a look and we'll see what comes with it. And I can see right in the top that it's got a funnel. And screwdriver, and it looks like a spark plug wrench besides. Get that stuff out of the way. You see it's got a carry handle built into the top, which is one of the things that I like. What I like about these portable generators, they are usually around, I think, 40 or 50 pounds. And I think this one comes in around 39, 40 pounds, something like that. And this is a inverter generator, and it's the model YH2200i. And it has, or is advertised to be 1800 running watts and 2250 starting watts. And just to give you a quick overview of the control panel, down here at the bottom, you have your connections for parallel operation if you want to hook this generator to another one. It does have a grounding connection. You have dual USB ports. You have a double AC outlet. You have a circuit breaker to reset any type of a short that occurs while something is plugged into these outlets. You have LED lights that I'll explain in a moment what those do. And then you have a switch for your eco mode, and this will determine whether or not the engine RPM either revs up or not according to the load that you've placed on it. And just to give you a quick overview of these LED warning lights, this is your low oil indicator. Should the oil level drop to a dangerous level, the generator, first of all, will automatically shut down. This will show yellow. If you overload the system, this will show red. And if everything is working as it should, this will show green. And your two 120 volt AC outlets are right here. Both of those are grounded, as you can see. And like I said, if you do happen to get an overload, this is the circuit breaker reset right here. And access to the spark plug is through this little door, and you can see right down in here where the spark plug is. That's why they give you such a long socket to reach down in there. They have stickers and labels all over the place just to warn you that this is shipped without oil and that you're going to need to put 10W30 into it. And like all of us guys do, I'm going to actually read the manual. I was going to say, yeah, right, but yeah, I am. I am going to look through the manual and check everything out first before I do anything else. They provide you with this toolkit, and this is a spark plug socket and the handle for that. And they also provide you with this Phillips screwdriver, and that is used to loosen these two screws so that you can get this side panel off, and then you can access the air filter and the oil fill. And once you get these two screws loosened up, I had to give a little bit of a tug right here and just gently pulled, and it has a couple tabs which hold into the back side here, and that gives you access to the engine, of course, and where you would put in your oil. Well, I'm just putting the oil in the generator, and this angled funnel works really well. It's putting the oil into the dipstick tube. You don't want to overfill it, so you want to make sure that you're right on the crosshatch portion of the dipstick. It does call for 10W30, which my son happened to have a couple quarts extra, so I went down and grabbed those from him. And from what I've read, after 20 hours of operation, you're supposed to change the oil out and refill it again. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And now that the oil has been put in the generator, and I've checked it about 2 or 3 times on the dipstick, just to make sure that the oil settles down in, because it's pretty cold and the oil is running a little bit thick. So that's all done, all set. Now it's time to put on the cover. And to put on the cover is just as simple as when I took it off. These little tabs are going to go into the slots here. You've got a pin here and right here, and those are going to push right into some rubber grommets that are at the top and bottom, and then you're going to tighten your Phillips screws back up again, and we're going to call it good. I've already got the generator filled up with gas, and I filled up a gallon jug with the same. Anything that I've ever used that's going to sit for a while, which could be like a generator or a snowblower, something like that might be seasonal, I go ahead and I use non-ethanol fuel, and that keeps the carburetor from getting all gummed up and creating a starting issue when you probably going to need it the most. The gas cap has a built-in vent, and before you start the generator, you have to switch it from this off position to the on position. Then you go down here to the side panel, and you turn the knob from off to on. If the engine is cold, then you switch it one more position to the choke position, and then you pull the recoil to start the generator. Pretty simple. I was able to get the generator fired up with no problem. I just used the startup procedure that they outlined, and right now I have my Life PO4 battery charger plugged into it because the solar panel just isn't getting enough sunshine. You can hear the difference in the RPMs as I switch between eco mode and turning eco mode off. Right now it's on eco mode. I'm going to hit the switch and turn that off, and you can hear the RPMs pick up a little bit. and then back down again. You can see the two red lights on my battery charger. That's indicating that the batteries need to be charged, and with ice and snow up on the solar panel, I can't go beating on that, otherwise I'll break the tempered glass on the panel. So this is the only other alternative I have to try to put a charge into my batteries. This generator is advertised to be a silent inverter generator, and I'm inside the van, windows are up, doors are closed, and obviously it's not too bad. I don't know if it's because of the metal buildings that surround me or what, but for me, I think it's, you know, a little bit loud outside, and that I'll have to keep in mind if I'm going to use it around other people, and I'll use it probably sparingly, but right now I have to use it as my only source to top off these batteries. I got my ladder out because I wanted to get up here on the roof and check out my solar panel, and as you can see, I was able to get some of the ice layer off it. The problem is we've had back-to-back storms, and it'll go from rain to sleet to snow, back and forth, freezing and thawing, and it's just been very, very difficult trying to keep the snow and ice off the roof of the van. So that generator is extremely handy right now because that's putting a charge into those house batteries, and that's what I primarily need right now. And I'll just let this kind of thaw out a little bit here in the sun, and hopefully I can keep taking my fingers and getting a little bit more ice removed. I ran the generator the first time for 2.5 hours, and that was to provide power to my battery charger. And at that point I had to shut it down, and it worked great though. It worked flawlessly, and I'm going to have to run it again in order to top my batteries fully, but it's doing the job. So all in all, this was a great purchase, and I'm very happy that I got it and the price was right. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up, and once again, thank you very much for watching.